Palantir just joined the S&P 500, and I think that means we should all be excited. This company was founded by Peter Thiel, who is a very, very famous tech investor. They do something really interesting. They take artificial intelligence and data analytics and actually use this to make more money for other businesses. It's a pretty cool company, and I think you should be excited to own it. The inclusion into the S&P 500 for this company has been a real coup. They've been struggling for years to really get investors to understand the value proposition that their product offers. Now, back in the day, this was a firm that was mostly famous for its integration with the US government, for use in military applications, those sorts of things. But over the years, we've seen some really impressive growth into the US commercial space, which is where this company really gets its main value add over the last couple of years. Many people were not ready to invest in a pre-profit company that depended so heavily on these huge contracts from the government. But with the introduction of things like AIP, which we'll talk about later, Palantir has found itself a corporate darling that has some really impressive contracts and some amazing growth in contracts from the US commercial space. I think this is the reason why we should be so excited about this company, because it's managed to not only be a darling with governments, but also find amazing growth with normal corporations. If you look at testimonials from Palantir's own customers, you'll find some really impressive results. You'll see companies whose earnings are exploding, who have found amazing efficiencies in their own businesses just using Palantir's model. So you might be asking, what does Palantir actually do? Well, Palantir has a whole suite of software that take artificial intelligence and a company's own data and use that artificial intelligence not to make decisions or write something or create something in the way we've seen LLMs used recently, but to take that data from its raw form and translate it so a human can understand and take action on it. This can look like explaining when and where a product might be needed for a logistics company. This can be doing something like explaining who might be a good potential customer if you're a commercial brand. Imagine you're running a Fortune 500 company, Procter & Gamble, for example. You're going to the board with a proposition. You've brought this data analytics firm in who's going to help make decisions about product lines that are selling good, places where products need to be, logistics, all of this. Now, imagine that you can also tell those people on the board that you have brought somebody who is trusted by the US government, who has security clearance, and who have testimonials from a whole range of other companies showing how great they've been. I think that's part of why Palantir has exploded over the last couple of years. Palantir's organization also has some serious advantages for us as investors. They are a software company. If you think about the AI trend, we're probably thinking about NVIDIA. That's the company that's had the amazing results over the last couple of years. But if you think about who benefited from the internet trend the most, it wasn't Intel. It was people like Apple, like Microsoft, who profited off the software they were selling more than the hardware itself. Palantir skips the first step. They're just a software company. This is like the Google of artificial intelligence. Now, to improve our understanding of this company, we're going to dig into some analyst reports. This is something we love to do on this channel. And specifically, we're going to look at the Morningstar report because that's what I have access to. So the actual person reporting on this is a guy named Malik Ahmed Khan. He's a CFA, and he covers a whole bunch of different software-related companies, including Palantir. Now, Malik doesn't look very kindly on this company. He actually thinks we're incredibly overvalued, thinks there's a narrow economic moat. He thinks competitors are coming to take Palantir's lunch. However, he does acknowledge that Palantir has a strong tailwind, that their government and corporate integrations mean they can survive if one or the other is paying higher or lower, and that Palantir's services are somewhat unique. He also docks them points because of their allegiance to the Western economic and political sphere. for their unwillingness to do deals with other countries, other companies, and for mistakes they've made in the past, specifically corporate executives making foolish choices. My one problem with this analyst report, however, is when I scroll down to the competitors page, I noticed that the firms named there were things like Okta, Zscaler, CrowdStrike. These are cybersecurity companies, not data analytics companies. And this is when I realized maybe part of the reason Palantir is still struggling to find valuation in the market is because it's kind of weird. The space they sit in isn't really defined. How can you argue that they're an AI company, but at the same time they're a data analytics company, and at the same time they're almost a consulting company? They're helping you make decisions about your business. They sit in a very unique position. And so trying to value them from a traditional Wall Street perspective on things like price to earnings, even on future price to earnings or price to earnings growth or any of those kind of metrics is tough, because who are you comparing them to? You're comparing them to established cybersecurity firms? I've got nothing against places like Okta or CrowdStrike or Zscaler. Those are fine companies in their sphere, but I don't think they really compete with Palantir. I don't think that's their focus, even if they do have some products that might overlap. There's another problem here. There's another omission in this earnings report, and it's AIP. But AIP is the strongest of Palantir's offerings to businesses right now, because it is the actual platform on which their artificial intelligences sit. And this platform has been getting better and better and better, and Palantir has been able to show it to more and more businesses alongside positive results from other customers, and has grown exponentially over the last couple of years. AIP has really allowed Palantir to be a stronger company. And I think leaving that out of the report and just focusing on the established parts of their business is really foolish. This is why I think we as investors should be excited about Palantir, and why I think the market still doesn't really get this company. Palantir is in a position where they are going to grow rapidly over the next couple of years. I strongly believe that Palantir's offering, based on the results we've seen from companies who use it, is unique. It is the only offering we've seen that has had the kind of results it's had. And so I think more and more businesses are going to be forced to jump on board. How are they going to argue that they are going to use a competitor if we haven't seen anyone compete really with the kind of returns Palantir-powered businesses are seeing? If you can find efficiencies as a business, you should do it. And so I think Palantir's got a pretty strong runway of growth in the future. And then even when it dries up, this is a SaaS company, a software as a service company. These are recurring contracts, recurring revenues. So as this grows and grows and grows and grows and grows, we're going to see a point where it starts to level off. And now we just have another firm like Google, like Amazon, even like Microsoft, kind of, where you have these strong recurring revenues that turn this into a cash flow beast. And think about the amount of reinvestment they're going to be able to do. They are currently becoming the number one option in this field. Imagine if you had the option to buy Google in 2002. Imagine if you had the option to buy Amazon at the .com crash. That might be Palantir in the next couple of years. And again, I'm not saying you need to buy it today. I'm saying you already own it. It's in the S&P 500. This is exciting now. And there are going to be opportunities in the future where you can pick up more and more and more Palantir as it deals with the next pitfall, the next challenge, maybe the next crash. But this company is offering a pretty unique and powerful service, and I think us as investors should be excited about it. So that's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you found this valuable, you had any questions, anything at all, please leave it in the comments down below. If you can, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.